Today, we are traveling to one of the most remote islands on Earth, located 2,500 miles away from the west coast of the US, which admittedly made me nervous, so I tried not to think about it too much when I was there, or at all. And this was not too hard. There were plenty of things to keep me preoccupied. Dolphin and whale watching, snorkeling in crystal clear waters above coral reefs, hiking in rainforests, and racing to volcanic eruptions. Yes, all of that and more.
Aloha! It is Geology Joe's here. Right now I am in Hawaii on the Big Island, surrounded by a bunch of lava rock known as basalt. It covers most of the beaches here in Hawaii because there are volcanoes. These are volcanic islands. You're going to have lava flow down from the volcanoes and harden on the beach, like kind of rough looking, and it really hurts my feet. It does not feel good right now. Treacherous. Oh man, it's sharp. Ouch.
This island is an absolute geological wonder, and today we're talking all about the forces that created it, and continue to create it. The Big Island is an ever-evolving place that showcases the power of nature to renew itself. The Big Island is the youngest of the Hawaiian Islands and is home to some of the most active volcanoes in the world, and because of this, it's still growing. Kauai is known as the oldest island in the Hawaiian island chain, formed around 500 million years ago. But the geological history of this island chain goes back much farther than that. The Hawaiian Islands are part of a much larger volcanic island chain that spans over 3,000 miles, known as the Hawaiian-Emperor Seamount. This is a largely underwater mountain range of extinct volcanoes in the Pacific Ocean that have been in the process of building and eroding for 85 million years. Beneath Hawaii, there's something called a hotspot, which is kind of like an underground lake of hot, molten rock, also known as magma. This magma rises through weak points in the crust, causing uplift and eventually volcanoes. This hotspot does not move. Instead, the thing that moves is the tectonic plate above it, which is known as the Pacific Plate. As this plate moves, new volcanoes form, and old ones slowly drift away, eroding into coral atolls and then slipping under the sea. The weird thing about this hotspot is that it is smack dab in the center of the Pacific Plate, nowhere close to a plate boundary where volcanism typically takes place. The predominant location for volcanism occurs at mid-ocean ridges, where oceanic plates move away from each other, causing thinning of the crust and hot mantle rock to rise. Most of these volcanoes are located on the ocean floor, over 10,000 feet down. One exception is Iceland. Volcanism also occurs at subduction zones, where a converging oceanic plate slips under a continental plate. This process causes water to expel from hydrated minerals in the descending slab, which results in melting of the overlying mantle rock. That melted material rises to form volcanoes. Both of these are examples of interplate volcanism, not to be confused with intraplate volcanism, which refers to volcanism within a plate, like what's going on in Hawaii. I know, very confusing if Latin is not your thing. So where in the heck does this intraplate hotspot in the middle of the Pacific Ocean come from, and why? Well, geologists are still trying to figure that out, which requires a deep understanding of mantle dynamics that is way above my pay grade. One current theory to explain this intraplate hotspot phenomenon are mantle plumes, which have a certain amount of controversy surrounding their origin and true nature. A mantle plume is a buoyant mass of mechanically weak, ductile, partially molten rock of the upper mantle. Some studies suggest they originate from the mantle core boundary, and other studies say those studies are full of it. It's thought that these extremely hot mantle plumes cause the overlying lithosphere, which is the upper mantle and crust, to thin and melt. This combination of processes results in hotspots. The existence of intraplate hotspots are widely agreed upon in the geology community, but the mechanics and origin are still points of contention in areas of active research. The important thing to know is that the Big Island of Hawaii is right above the hotspot, which is why it has active volcanoes today. One of the most famous volcanoes on the Big Island is Kīlauea, which is the most active volcano in the world. Kīlauea has been continuously erupting for decades, and its lava flows have shaped large portions of the Big Island. This is the one you are most likely to see erupt if you visit the Big Island, and I was fortunate enough to see it. As soon as I heard the news of its eruption, I raced up to the Hawaii Volcanoes National Park, and so did everyone else. It was absolutely packed. All of the parking lots and pull-offs were filled, but luckily I did find a spot. The reason people race to this volcano instead of run away is because it is a shield volcano, known for its relatively calm eruptions. Relatively. It's still a massive hole in the ground spewing 2,000-degree sludge and toxic gases. This is because magma has a low viscosity due to its mafic composition, which is rich in magnesium and iron oxides. This allows the lava to flow more easily, spreading out in wide, gentle layers rather than exploding violently like stratovolcanoes, which have thicker, more silica-rich lava. Over time, the gentle lava flows create the massive, wide shield shape we see presently. Semi-shield shape. Today, it looks more like a dented shield, because in 2018, the caldera collapsed. In March of 2018, Kīlauea erupted simultaneously at the summit of the Halemaumau crater and down the East Rip Zone at Pu'o'o volcanic crater. By mid-March, increasing pressure in the magma system at Pu'o'o caused inflation at the summit of Kīlauea. This led to the lava lake in Halemaumau to rise and eventually overflow to the crater floor in April of 2018. Magma stored in Kīlauea supports the summit of the volcano. Large and long-lasting eruptions like at Pu'o'o, which lasted 35 years, partially emptied the magma reservoir, reducing its structural integrity. Lacking support, on April 30th, the Pu'o'o eruption ended with its collapse and created a large crater at the top of Kīlauea. Immediately after, magma began to move underground, causing frequent collapses, powerful earthquakes, and ash plumes, which reshaped Kilauea's summit. In the following 2 months, lava covered 13.7 square miles, destroyed 700 homes, displaced 2,000 people, and added 875 acres to the Big Island. From May through August, over 60,000 earthquakes shook the area. As a result of this activity, Halemaumau crater grew from 280 feet deep to about 1,600 feet deep, and the diameter more than doubled. This and similar events have given Kīlauea a reputation for the nation's most deadly volcano, according to the USGS. Perhaps the shield volcano is not as calm as it seems. Next, we're at Monaloa, the largest volcano on Earth. Monaloa is massive, covering an area larger than some countries. It's another shield volcano, and while it hasn't erupted since 1984, it's still very much an active part of the island's landscape. The lava flows from Monaloa have been responsible for creating huge areas of land here on the Big Island. Mauna Kea is another key feature of the island. It's technically a dormant volcano, but it's still the tallest mountain in Hawaii, and if you measure it from the ocean floor, it's taller than Mount Everest. Evidence of past eruptions can be found all over the Big Island, but most of the lava flows are concentrated on the west side and sometimes leave behind lava tubes. Lava tubes are caves created by lava. During an eruption, lava flows out of the volcano like a slow-moving river. As it moves away from the shield volcano, it cools from the outside in, forming a thin black crust on the surface that becomes thicker over time. When I was in Iceland, people were actually walking on this thin black crust during an eruption, not realizing that there was molten lava just inches below their feet. Yeah, don't do that. As the eruption stops and the river of lava reaches its final destination, it can leave behind hollowed tubes where the lava river once flowed.
I'm currently in a lava tube that Native Hawaiians called their home for 250 years. They ate here, lived here, slept here between 1500 and 1700 AD. Now, this isn't the best place to call home. Lava tubes are not known for their structural integrity and can collapse at any time.
See this huge depression in the ground? It used to not be like that. This lava tube over here continued over there, but then eventually it collapsed. So don't go wandering into any random lava tubes because you don't want this to happen while you're in one.
So if you ever want to explore a lava tube, make sure it's a well-known and well-mapped out one.
While the Big Island is known for its volcanic activity, it's also home to some stunning beaches with white, black, and even green sand. But why? Where do these colors come from? The white sand is made up of calcium carbonate, which is derived from eroded pieces of coral and shelled organisms. And parrotfish poop. Parrotfish can actually produce hundreds of pounds of white sand a year, so keep that in mind when you're digging your toes in the sand. For the next beaches, you'll definitely want to keep your shoes on because it can get excruciatingly hot. Oh, oh, ow, that hurt a lot. Gosh dang it. Why did I not wear my shoes? That was an error. That was an error, a big error. So what makes the sand this black color? Well, we have basalt, a volcanic rock all over the island. And when that volcanic rock erodes from all of that wave activity, you get sand, black sand. Why is it that we have a black sand beach up north here, but then we don't farther down south? What's up with that? When eruptions stop altogether, no longer adding a new supply of black lava rock and ash, the supply of white sand from the coral reefs will outnumber that of the black sand over time, causing the black sand beaches to disappear. The most intriguing beach on the island, due to its rarity, sits near the southern tip of the Big Island. Papakolea Beach is one of only 4 beaches worldwide with green sand. This beach sits on an eroded section of a tuff ring, a volcanic feature formed by magma mixing with groundwater, which causes an explosion. This feature consists of compacted volcanic ash and other pyroclastic material, and so happens to have a large concentration of a green mineral called olivine, Hawaii's only naturally occurring gemstone. Olivine is far more dense than volcanic ash, causing more of it to be left behind in the sand. The steady erosion of the olivine-rich tuff ring provides a constant supply of new olivine to the beach. However, as the tuff ring erodes and the exposed olivine is washed away by waves and dissolved by carbon dioxide and water, the beach will eventually lose its green color. Some portions of the island don't have sandy beaches at all. Instead, they have rocky black cliffs, the remnants of, you guessed it, lava flows. If you visit these areas, make sure you stand far away from the edge. The lava flows easily fracture, and you might find yourself drowning in the violent waves below if you aren't careful.
That's terrifying.
I had to warn a group of girls standing on the wrong side of a deep fissure, which looked like it was about to give any day now. The Big Island's volcanoes not only shape the landscape, but affect the island's biodiversity as well. The island's varied climate zones, from tropical rainforests to dry desert-like areas, are influenced by the towering volcanoes. These mountains block and redirect rainfall, creating lush rainforests in some areas while leaving other regions arid. The Big Island of Hawaii is a land of contrasts, from fiery volcanoes to peaceful waterfalls, black sand beaches to lush rainforests. It's a place where the earth is constantly changing, and you can see the forces of nature shaping the land right before your eyes. Whether you're hiking through a lava field, gazing at a volcano, or relaxing on the beach, there's always something new to discover here. Thanks for joining me on this geological adventure. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss out on the next one. Until then, aloha!